This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I am Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we have apparently Nick Fuentes likes to beat up women. I mean, he likes to beat up old women. Before I show, I got a video actually. I have actual video evidence of such a thing. But before I show that, I just want to mention our sponsor real quick, maxassociates.etsy.com. An excellent person, excellent products. I mean, this guy really knows his stuff. You know, he's got USA Pride gifts and apparel, patriotic apparel. I mean, one of the best shops you'll ever find. And he's actually got some new merchandise. I want to show you guys this shirt right here. It's really cool. So check this shirt out right here. Proud American Patriot. And you see how it's got the military type stuff in the middle? And then he's got another one with the eagle on it, Proud American Patriot. Now these are awesome shirts. I would probably get this one right here. I love, that it says Proud American Patriot on it. Just all you got to do is go to maxassociates.etsy.com, or you can scan the QR code in the top right up there. And tell him, Jay, when you get something, what kind of deal do you get?
You get 20% off of anything over $20 and free shipping. Can't beat that. Can't beat it.
Absolutely not.
And that stuff we just saw, those shirts, I mean, can it get any better for the 250th anniversary of the United States?
Oh, I know. Look at Proud American Patriot. I would wear that on July 4th.
Absolutely.
Excellent stuff. All right, Jay, let's get to the video. I want to show people this video because, it's funny. I put up a post saying that I thought, he was a weak little pussy for, beating up a female. You do not know how many gropers there are out there. I mean, these people grope, they grope in groups. Okay.
So for people that don't know, they are called groypers, but we prefer to call them gropers.
Yeah, and groypers is about the stupidest name I have ever. Why in the fuck would you want to call yourself a groyper? Hey, I'm a groyp. What? What the hell is that? Sounds like groper to me. You're a groper, and everybody knows what that is. That's easy to fucking talk about. You're a groper. So, apparently, Jay, the post went viral that I put out there. Obviously, it's going crazy right now. And I would say 75% of the people are Nick Fuentes justifying assault on a female. They're saying, oh, she shouldn't have come to the door. Oh, she shouldn't have, had her phone out. Oh, she shouldn't have waved hi. So you're telling me you're going to assault a Girl Scout that comes to your fucking door? You're going to assault a Jehovah's Witness because they come to your door? You're going to assault all these people? I'm sorry. But, I mean, she literally says hi in a happy way, has her phone out because I think she's excited to see him. People assume she's a liberal, but it looked to me like she was excited to see him. And then he starts pepper spraying her, and she's like, what are you doing? And then he shoves her down the steps onto the concrete. I mean, who does that shit? Then he calls her the F word and steals her phone.
There's no justification for what he did. Zero.
None. I don't care if she doxed him and harassed him 20 times.
She didn't.
Yeah, even if she doxes him and harasses him and stalks him, she is not being physically violent, and he is a man. Well, I don't know if he's actually a man, but he's beating up on women regardless.
How about don't answer the door?
Call the cops.
Nick Fuentes, right? Call the cops. If Nick Fuentes doesn't have a ring cam.
That's actually where this video is. It's from his ring cam.
So there you go. I mean, you could talk to her on your ring cam. He went out there looking for this. That's what he did.
Yeah. He wanted this.
Because he's a pussy, and he saw a woman, and he went out there and figured, I'm going to push this woman down my sidewalk. He's lucky she didn't hit her head. That's what he's lucky. And really
very lucky. So I want you guys to take a listen to this. Look, she's got her thing out. She's got a phone out, right? That's all she's got. Well, just take a listen.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing? Oh.
Get the fuck out of here! She says, "Hi, how are you doing?" He maces her, throws her down the steps while she's saying, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he steals her phone.
Basically, what happened here is he got doxxed by somebody else, not her. Mm-hmm. She apparently lives in the area, and I guess maybe it was happening. Maybe once people knew his address, they were coming around bothering him. That's fine. He's entitled to privacy. People shouldn't be going there just to bother him. Fine.
Yeah, but public figures have to get used to things like that.
But it's fine, right? We'll even give him that. We'll give him that.
Sure.
But all she did, and I'm not saying I would have done this, but she went to the door and said hi to him, and was probably trying to get it on her phone so she could show it to everybody or put it on social media. Who cares? Like I said, he didn't have to open the door. She wasn't being aggressive. She wasn't banging on the door. She wasn't destroying his property.
No.
There was no.
She even said hi happily, like she was excited.
That's it. Don't open the door. Tell her to go away through your ring cam. Get off your property, or you're going to call the police. That's
all you have to do.
All you had to do. He goes
Yet,
out. The
Jay,
15-year-old woman.
75% of the people in that post are defending his assault on a female.
That
I
tracks.
want you to see. So you think the left is crazy? The woke Reich is way crazier, or just as, at least.
Yeah.
The woke Reich. I'm talking about the gropers, the Nick Fuentes gropers. They are just as bad. I want you to see this, Jay. I'm going to pull this shit up. I want everybody to see this. Take a look at the comments on this post, okay? Look at this. So I said, wow, the amount of people defending a male pepper spraying a female that is showing no intentions of hurting him physically and then shoving her down the steps on the concrete is sickening. Look at these people. They must be gropers. You know, but then look at all this. Okay. You got, let's see. Okay. Was she trespassing on his property? What the fuck was she doing at his house? Who's the what, where, when, why, yada, yada, yada. Let's see. Good for him. Stop with your victim mentality. Nice lying. Not a Fuentes fan, but recorded a police report stated she's a woman rights activist. Okay. So I guess that justifies her getting beat. Let's see. Let's see. Man, I saw so many different ones. You would not believe. Look, a man named Jack Danger does not understand that danger comes in many forms. I despise Fuentes, but he, nor I, nor you would know what that woman's intentions were. I'm lying. Sure when she waved hi with a phone and you could see both of her hands and her phone up, I'm sure she was a physical threat to him. Yeah.
Whoever that was, Jack, is lying. These are Fuentes fans. Oh, I'm not a Fuentes. Yes, you are. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Good for him. You know how many people I said that she fucked around and found out? I'm thinking, what the hell did she fuck around? What are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
This is just proof that Nick Fuentes never was a conservative, because conservatives don't behave this way. Normal Republicans don't behave this way. Libertarians don't behave this way. Nick Fuentes, he's not MAGA. He's grifter, and that's all he is. He's been grifting, and he's a piece of garbage. That's what he is. And know what he is? He's woke Reich. Mm-hmm. They display tendencies and behavior just like the radical left. That's what they are. And
he's a fucking pussy is what he is.
Absolutely disavowed out of Republican and conservative and libertarians. I'm talking to you too.
And he said, vote Democrat. That's what he said.
Exactly. So he just needs to be disavowed and told, you're not part of us. We don't want you. And anybody that follows you, they can go to hell too. Because this is the type of behavior that we don't condone and we never would. This is the stuff that the radical left does. Exact same behavior. They're violent.
And he did a deferral prosecution, Jay.
They act on impulse. What's that?
Yeah. He did a deferred prosecution to where all he had to do was probably some community service and get the charges dropped. Even though if she would have cracked her head on the sidewalk, he steals the woman's phone. It's not just felony assault. It's also felony theft of property because that phone is over $500. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. No. He took the phone. That's absolutely larceny, 100%. And it's felony larceny because that phone is over $1,000 probably, way over the threshold probably. As far as the assault, where I am, that would at the most be misdemeanor assault if she claimed an injury. It's harassment. Well, it is what it is. A lot of states have the same thing. But here's the thing. Castle doctrine. All right, I looked it up. In Illinois, there is a castle doctrine. But how about this? It has to happen inside your home. And she did nothing.
There has to be an imminent threat for a castle doctrine.
There was nothing there for him to the castle doctrine to protect him at all. The reason why these charges were dropped, apparently she was getting frustrated with the process. She couldn't even determine whether or not he lived up to his end of the bargain of going through the anger management and the other stuff that he was supposed to do. And she was at this point starting to get threats and phone calls and be harassed and said, you know what? I just want to drop it. I want to move on with my life. Now, I think at this point she should probably sue him civilly if she hasn't already.
Yeah. I would take him for everything he's fucking worth, especially with the video coming out. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. I would sue him civilly right into the ground.
Oh, hell yeah. And anybody that threatened me, anybody that says anything, anybody that docks, anybody that swats, I would sue every single one of them. I'm going to make sure they're all homeless.
Exactly. That's what he deserves. I mean, listen, he just shows on video what we all already knew or thought we knew.
What the common sense right knows,
Yeah.
not the woke right. And I'm not saying when people hear that, I'm not saying woke right. I'm saying woke Reich, as in the whole Hitler thing. They want to play Hitler. They're the woke Reich. Okay.
That's what they are.
And he's many times said he loves Hitler. Many a time. They are the woke Reich. They are the gropers. They are not groypers. That's the stupidest fucking word. If you say you're a groiper, I'm gonna slap you. It's the stupidest goddamn word I've ever heard. You're a groper, okay?
Oh, that was funny though. On your thread, when somebody actually thought I was making fun of you when I was laughing at groper because we came up with it the other night, and like, oh, he's laughing at you, F-tard. Like, no, I'm actually not. I'm actually laughing because that's what these people are. We came up with it, gropers.
Absolutely. And we're going to get that going. Gropers. Anytime a groiper comes at you, they're a groper. They are, from now on, everybody that's watching the show right now, from now on, I want you to consider the woke Reich part of the left. Okay. They are part of the left. They are our enemy. Okay.
100%.
They said they want to vote Democrat. He is the leader. Nick Fuentes is the leader of the gropers. And he told them all to vote Democrat. They are our enemy. From now on, they are the left.
And they behave like the left. That's the left. We just saw it on video. Period.
Absolutely.
It's not even up for debate anymore.
And he got away with it just like the left would.
True.
Oh my God, man. Some people, I just don't, man, I tell you, man. People. All right.
What else do we have, Jack? There's a lot of stuff happened today, man. Oh my God.
There is a lot of stuff happening today. I want to pull up there was a big decision today that absolutely destroyed the Democrats and possibly changed the course of future history. I want to show you guys. And by the way, Obama was so upset about this. Take a look at this right here. He was so upset about this. I have his tweet right here in this thing that I made. Check this out. Look, there's his tweet right there in the thing I made. He had a meltdown. He said today's Supreme Court decision effectively guts a key pillar of the Voting Rights Act. It serves as just one more example of how a majority of the current court seems intent on abandoning its vital role in ensuring equal participation in our democracy and protecting the rights of minority groups against majority overreach. The good news is that such setbacks can be overcome, but that will only happen if citizens across the country who cherish our democratic ideals continue to mobilize and vote in record numbers. The thing is, what he's talking about is they struck down race-based gerrymandering. Okay. Illinois and other places were doing race-based, Louisiana doing race-based gerrymandering, where the districts were based on black people because black people vote Democrat in a much higher rate than white people do. So they were basing it on, if you're black, you're going to be in this district. That's what they were basing it on. The court struck that down. You can no longer, this is the Supreme Court, so it's over. You can no longer, and there's no appeal after the Supreme Court, you can no longer make these, and there's going to be a lot of maps that are redrawn that were done by race-based districts.
Absolutely.
By the way, I'm sorry, Jay, I forgot to mention the Democrats can lose with these maps being redrawn. The Democrats will lose up to 19 House seats.
Yeah, 19 to 20. I heard 20 too. I heard 20. I mean, that's good. But they're basically arguing against Martin Luther King and everything his dream. Everything the Democrats do flies in the face of Martin Luther King's dream speech. Content of character, all that stuff. Everything they do is based on race. Everything.
Absolutely.
And this smacks that down as it should. And one more thing. When people complain about President Trump, he's not doing this, he's doing this, I don't like it, I didn't vote for this. I get it. You're allowed to have that. You're allowed to. Understand that if he lost in 2016, you don't have this Supreme Court. And we still have issues with this Supreme Court. We're not thrilled all the time with Barrett or Gorsuch.
No, we still have issues with them.
Certainly not Roberts. We're always pretty much thrilled with Alito and Thomas, right?
I love Thomas. He's a man. He actually came out. You never hear court members talk about politics. They're actually independent from politics. But he actually came out, made a speech against progressivism recently. Did you see that speech?
I didn't see it, but I'm glad because the left does it all the time. They throw politics in our face all the time. Sotomayor did it again today when it came to the Haitians with TPS. I can get to that if you want a little later. But if President Trump doesn't win in 2016, you don't have this court. You have Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court. You remember him?
Oh
He was Joe
God.
Biden's attorney general. What did Merrick Garland do as attorney general? Could you imagine what he would have done as a Supreme Court justice? Ruth Bader Ginsburg would not have been replaced with Amy Coney Barrett. She would have been replaced with somebody as bad or worse than Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So every time people complain about President Trump, who say they're Republican or they voted against Democrats, understand that just by winning, and you said this in this case in 24, Jack, but just by winning in 16, he saved the country. By winning in 24, he saved the country just based on his Supreme Court selections alone. Do you realize what would have happened if Hillary Clinton won that election? It wouldn't have been Gorsuch. It wouldn't have been Kavanaugh. It wouldn't have been Barrett. You would have had 3 crackpots. You would have had 3 more Ketanji Brown Jacksons on the court. Do you understand what that would have done?
People don't realize how important the Supreme Court is. It is literally our last vestige to protect the Constitution. Without them, there is no enforceable Constitution because nobody else enforces it. They won't enforce it, and without them, there will be no enforcing of it. So if there is a Democrat president in the near future, they will try to stack the Supreme Court, 15, 16, 17 justices. That way they can put on another 8 or 9 liberal justices and, do that. And then we're going to do that every time. Republicans are going to come and stack the court. Now, before you know it, there's going to be 100 justices that are in the Supreme Court. It's going to be ridiculous. And that's what they want. They want chaos because, chaos breeds confusion. And when you have confusion, you can slip a lot of things through the back door.
Listen, right. They Barack Obama in that tweet, he's talking about, what did he say, Jack? Can you read it again real quick? The first
race-based,
something struck me when it just read it again for me.
He said, he said today's Supreme Court decision effectively guts a key pillar of the Voting Rights Act. It serves as just one more example of how a majority of the current court seems intent on abandoning its vital role in ensuring equal participation in our democracy and protecting the rights of minority groups against majority overreach. I mean,
actually what the court's doing is preserving and fulfilling its vital role. That's what this court is doing. They're actually reading the damn Constitution and going by what it actually freaking says, not what you want it to say.
Yeah. Exactly what you're saying right there is why I wrote the post that I did about Obama. I want you to hear this, Jay. I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but I want you to hear this. The headline is Obama panics after Supreme Court setback. Barack Obama just dropped a full-blown meltdown on X after the Supreme Court handed Democrats a crushing reality check. And you can feel the desperation through every word. He's not defending democracy. He's reacting to losing control of it. For years, Democrat leaned on courts, narratives, and accusations to hold power. Now that the tide is turning, suddenly it's a threat, a gutting, a crisis. Translation, they lost. And when they lose, they don't reassess, they escalate. Obama is trying to rally the base with fear, voting rights under attack, minorities at risk, democracy in danger. But what's really happening? The system didn't break. It worked. It just didn't go their way. That's the meltdown. They don't want balance. They don't want debate. They want control. And the second that control slips, the alarm bells start ringing. This isn't about protecting democracy. It's about losing power, and they can't stand it. The narrative is cracking. The panic is showing, and Americans are waking up.
What happened? That's exactly right. That's a great post. And what happened here is, first I'll say this. The circuit courts, look at the disaster we have in the circuit courts because of all those Obama and Biden judges. Look at the disaster. They don't complain about that, do they? They love those courts. Now, all of a sudden, the Supreme Court's a problem because the Supreme Court is actually doing the right thing by overturning a lot of these horrible decisions coming from the circuit court that the Democrats stacked. That's number one. Number two, what's happening here? Republicans, and I believe this was brought up by the governor of Louisiana, Landry. I believe that's how this got to court. Republicans are actually finally playing the same game that the Democrats have been beating them at, or just not even, they've been playing against nobody. Republicans actually have gotten in the game now and actually a little bit learned how to play it a little better at this point, finally. And they're fighting back. They're fighting fire with fire.
I love they cut Crockett out.
That's how they got Crockett out. That's
how
I love it. That's how they got that other lunatic Green out, who stands there with this cane at every State of the Union address, waving it at the president and impeaching him every 5 minutes by actually playing the game that's there to be played and doing it better, period. And Absolutely. They don't like it. They don't like it that we have Republicans finally with some balls. And you know where they came from? I know I'm a Trump sycophant, right? Where do you think it came from? It came from a president that fights back. It came from somebody as a Republican who fights back. Is he right all the time? No, he's not. But one thing he does, he fights. And it's somebody that set the example for other Republicans to say, you know what? I'm going to fight too. And we need a lot more of it. We still have a long way to go.
I'm going to tell you what I'm worried about, though, Jay. In 2028, J.D. Vance is not part of the Plantagenet bloodline, the royal bloodline. He's not part of it.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, if you want the truth, if he runs, he's not going to win.
Well, hold on, Jack. It has happened. Here's the thing. If it never happened ever in history.
It happened one time, and I told you why it happened. It was before the Republican Party was even formed, and it was because the Whig Party ran 6 candidates, so it divided the votes. He only got 1 term, and it never happened again.
The only solace I could take is that, yes, eventually the Democrats will run one person. But let me tell you something. A poll came out yesterday where, Jack, I don't know if you saw it. Guess who's leading by 25 points?
Kamala Harris.
Leading? Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
25 or 22 points over Gavin Newsom.
She's part of the bloodline. Could you imagine if neither one of them were?
I don't think she is. I think we checked that. I don't think she is.
But could you imagine if neither one of them were part of the bloodline? Who in the hell's going to win?
Well, somebody's got to win.
Well, what if there's like an assassination and the vice president actually gets in there?
Well, listen, let's just, for now, go with the possibilities. We know J.D. Vance, and we think J.D. Vance will be the Republican nominee right now. That's right now. Everything, things change very quickly. Listen, 2 weeks ago, we thought the midterms were over because of what happened in Virginia, because of everything else going on. Now, all of a sudden, Virginia got smacked down. It doesn't look like that's going to be ready in time, if it ever does, for the midterms, because that's the Virginia Supreme Court said, nope, not happening. We're going to actually shut it down until the case is once and for all decided. So that's not going through. And then with this ruling today and what happened in Florida, and now what could happen in all these other states, we're like, wow, we actually have a shot. So in politics, things change very quickly. That's why I always say there's a million political lives between now and what's next. There's a million political lives between now and the midterms. We'll see what happens. But if it's Kamala Harris or even Newsom versus J.D. Vance, and I don't think either of them are in the bloodline, Jack. I think we checked.
Yeah, no, I'm checking right now. Neither one of them are part of the bloodline. So that'd be interesting to see what happens. For people that don't know, 45 of the 46 presidents, and the reason we say 46 is because there's presidents that have been, presidents in 2 separate, times. But 45 of the 46 presidents, let's just say every president except for one. Let's put it that way.
Correct.
Every president except for one has been part of the royal bloodline. We found this out, and I did the math on it. With all things being equal, the odds that every single president were part of the royal bloodline tracing back to John Lackland, that means every single one of these presidents are related to each other. Every single one of them. Obama and Trump are distant cousins. If you don't believe me, look it up. Go to Grok right now and say, are Obama and Trump distant cousins? Go ahead.
Well, listen,
tell you right now.
We put that post out 2 days ago or yesterday, and we're getting pushback. Well, it's because that's not really as crazy as you think. Okay, well, the argument then there is, why are we choosing from such a small pool then?
Exactly. And Grok even said, Grok actually said, it's not, it's not a big deal. They're all chosen from a small elite pool, not 330 million Americans. I'm like, wait a minute. So a random person, a real American can't just run for president. They're chosen by an elite pool. That's why every single one. And let me tell you the odds, Jay. The odds, with all things being equal, that every single one of these presidents, except for one, were part of the same bloodline and related to each other and all became president just by chance, just by happenstance, 1 in 96 quintillion. That means, for people out there, that means it's impossible. That means there is a conspiracy here.
Right. Even if you want to play games with the numbers and say, well, it's not really because they came from this pool. And that's a problem, right? Isn't that a problem?
That's a
I thought-
conspiracy in itself. They're choosing
Exactly.
from an elite pool.
Exactly. So you could tell us that no, it's really not 1 in 96 quintillion. Okay, I'll tell you what. For the sake of argument, you're right. The numbers, it's not really how it works. You don't have a problem with then saying, oh, it's just because it's from an elite pool. Wait, what? I got a problem with that.
Yeah, it's insanity. But just so everybody knows, Kamala Harris, JD Vance, not part of the pool. So if they run against each other and they're the only two serious candidates, look for something big to happen. I'm talking a possible, assassination or something before. I'm just saying, Jay, there's no way that after all this time, they're going to allow somebody in there that's not part of their family.
Well, no, then we would have to look whenever that has, say it, sake of arguments, JD Vance and Kamala Harris, or JD Vance and Gavin Newsom. You then would have to look at who their vice president nominees are and see if they're on it. Then you could, go ahead. What are you thinking?
Or
I'm just thinking
you kill them before the campaigns and run somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, usually you would think, right, it would be the vice president, kind of just like because it's hard to switch an entire ticket out, but just like they did with Biden when they got rid of him and anointed Harris, they went with his vice president. So I would just say, and we could go crazy going down all the possibilities, but let's just say you would have to then look at the vice president's nominees that they chose and see if they're in the bloodline, because that would be interesting.
Absolutely. So, and I for the sake of life, if I am one of those two, I do not choose somebody that's part of that bloodline. If they're my vice president, they are not going to be part of that bloodline.
You get asked the question at the press conference. So, you're the nominee for president. What's going to be your criteria for choosing your vice president? Well, my first criteria is going to be that they're not part of the planetgenetic bloodline.
Yeah, I don't want to be assassinated so they can become president. Yeah, not going to do that. Oh boy,
that's funny.
That's scary shit though, because it's real. It's not fake. What we're saying is not fake. It's 100% real. You can look it up yourself.
Nope, not fake at all.
Insanity. All right. So Jay, I want you to see something actually, okay? Because remember Seattle's socialist mayor, she's all of her policies are forcing, big businesses and the rich people to leave Seattle, which means all that's going to be left is the poor people that you're going to have to tax to death to keep the city running. That's socialism. They run out of other people's money, so they come for yours. So I want you to take a look at this. Listen to what she says about the mass exodus of Seattle.
Put some damn makeup on.
Jay, I was playing the video and you started talking. I got to rewind it.
Rewind it, because I just got to say this first. Can you actually look like you took a shower and brushed your hair?
Well, she's a hardcore liberal, and that they
God.
Look how I gotta say this, and I usually don't down somebody for their looks, but my God, her forehead! Look how far back the hairline goes. What the fuck is that?
All right, you're right, but she can't control that. But you can control if you actually look like you care.
Well, you can tell that she doesn't. She doesn't care about anything. Take a listen.
No. I think the claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are super overblown, and if the ones that leave, bye.
Oh my God.
Bye, and they're clapping. Bye. Yeah. The people that generate all the tax revenue for our city. Bye.
Oh my God. You can't. First of all, it's the tone, it's the cadence, it's the I mean, that's the mayor of a major city in the United States. Remember Kathy Hochul said that? I think it was 2022. And then a few months ago, she said, well, we kind of need you guys to come back from Florida because, we need you to support our social programs.
Begging them.
Oh my
God. Like Ma'am Dami is doing right now, begging for handouts because socialism cannot stand. In order for socialism, you have to tax people to death to pay for the people that don't pay for shit.
This is not rocket science. You don't have to be an economist to know that what she just said is one of the most absurd, irresponsible, ridiculous things that anybody running a city could ever say.
Absolutely.
Does it get worse? You're telling everybody with money to leave your city. I can't.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand people, and I certainly don't understand her or any of these socialists. It doesn't make any sense. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. See what we got here, because there are there's a lot of interesting things that are going on. So we already talked about, even the Democrats, all the Democrats were melting, melting, having a meltdown. They're all having a meltdown. So Jay, we just talked about Seattle. Let's talk about Washington State, the whole state for a second, okay? Washington State is taking the tax money of those people that live there and handing out $500,000 grants to push firearm relinquish programs. It's not free money. It's your money. They're not fixing the roads. They're not lowering taxes. They're not helping families. It's going towards programs that will restrict your access to your own rights. They call it public safety, prevention, at-risk individuals. But see, the thing is, who decides who's at risk? What qualifies? What happens when the definition expands? And it always expands. That's how it works. Start small, sell it as safety, fund it with your money, then scale it. Bigger budgets, broader rules, more control. And then suddenly it's not about a few cases anymore. It's about everyone. This isn't just one state program. It's a blueprint, and once the funding pipeline is built, it does not get shut off. It grows. Americans are starting to see this for what it is. It's a system where you pay into policies that are used against you. That's exactly what is happening right now. They didn't say firearm buyback, firearm give back. It's firearm relinquish. Relinquish means you give up.
Yeah. No. What answer? No. Sorry. But I'm just going to say sorry, bye, not doing it. $500,000
per grant.
Per grant. Who's dumb enough? You talk about my state. I think the left coast, they put New York to shame at this point. As a state.
The three worst states, it goes California, New York, Washington State. Utah is around there. Illinois is terrible. Colorado. We're all,
Well, Utah for a supposed red state is very weird sometimes for me. Very weird.
Very freaking weird.
Colorado's
weird. Terrible.
Well, Colorado's now, it's gone from purple to pretty much blue at this point. Yeah, Colorado's
it's horrible.
It's
but
gone.
Then California's number one. It's always going to be number one when we have people like Gavin Newsom running. It's always going to be the worst state. But New York is a very close second with Kathy Hochul and Mayor Mamdani especially.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I know. I know. Firsthand, I know it's bad in New York. Thank God I don't live in New York City. But first, I'm not giving, at least they're not calling it a buyback, Jack, because you can't buy something back that you don't own. No. So I love that when they call those gun programs buybacks. We didn't buy it back. You never owned it. It's mine. You don't get to buy it back. But now I guess they're trying to it's a grant. You relinquish it. What are you, out of your mind? No. First of all, you're taking my money and you're taking my right to protect myself. Get the hell out of here.
That's exactly what's happening. They are taking your guns, and it's not a buyback or a give back. It is a relinquish. Relinquish means you must give up, which means you must give up your firearms. That's what relinquish means. It does not mean will you give up your firearms. It means you will give up your firearms.
Well, there was actually good news today from the Trump administration. The ATF, there's a new ATF, I guess they call it an ATF director. And I think he just got confirmed or just came in, and he actually rolled back a bunch of Biden era regulations on suppressors, I think, on trigger resets, on some of the things to do with sales. They rolled back a bunch of stuff today that is very good news for the Second Amendment. So that's a positive. Another win we had today. We had a lot of good wins today. Today was a good day.
I'm looking at something right here.
What do you have?
I was looking at a video that Alina Habba made. She is Donald Trump's advisor at the moment, and she discovered the fake Oval Office where Joe Biden allegedly pretended to be president.
Oh,
he did not. His videos were apparently not made from the actual Oval Office.
No, he was on a stage. A lot of the times that was all talk about staged. The Democrats like to, and people on these morons who like to say President Trump stages assassinations. Joe Biden's entire presidency was staged. I remember this. They had a fake set for an Oval Office. Why would you need that? Nobody ever really delved into that, but I'm glad. Let's see this.
Yeah, let's take a look.
You guys, I just finished a show. Look at the room that they put me in. We're in Biden's fake Oval Office, everybody. And I've actually figured this out. I now know why. I now get it. Turn the camera around. There is a screen, teleprompter to the face. All I can say is the last administration was a disgrace.
Terrible. Terrible. It was the entire thing was fake.
Fake.
The entire presidency.
Fake. Fake.
And nothing, there's no consequences, Jay. None.
We were basically, for 4 years, we were told that that was normal. When we knew this guy was doing the presidency from a freaking movie set, that he couldn't actually be in the Oval Office or wherever, they had to put him on a stage.
But Jay, think about this. They subverted the United States presidency, installed a puppet so somebody else could run it, used the auto pen so somebody else could run it, and there's no consequences. You realize that no consequences breeds more of the same thing? This is going to happen again. Because if you're allowed to steal an election, if you're allowed to put in a puppet president, if you're allowed to use the auto pen for whatever you want, and there's no consequences, it will happen again.
Well, we still have time. Listen, consequences, we still have time for that. Forget the midterms. We still have 3 years for consequences of some kind for these people who destroyed this country over a 4-year period with, as you said, a puppet. I'll tell you, the media in this country, the media and Democrats, they are so disgusting. They are so evil that we had a president on a sound stage because he had to look at a teleprompter for every single thing he did. He was looking at cue cards when he was at press conferences. The questions were already pre-planned. He already knew who to call on. President Trump goes out there 15 times a day and calls on 20 people who hate his guts and just rattles off answers one after the other. But he's the one that's losing his mind. We were lied to for 4 years by these monsters. And you're right, there need to be consequences. One of the big time people need to go down for that. The whole thing was fake, stolen election, fake presidency, auto pen, fake pardons, all the other crap that we dealt with for 4 years. I don't want to hear it from these people.
Secret America was the one that brought out the auto pen and the pardons things. We were the ones that first reported that Joe Biden was using an auto pen back then. It was a huge story. We reported it in early March. We reported it in early March, and then I would say about 4 days later, Trump had a press conference about it. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't want to hear from these people about President Trump with the 25th Amendment. Shut up. Shut up. You're full of crap. You guys didn't talk about the 25th Amendment for 4 years when an invalid was the president. We don't even know if it was him half the time. We think it was people in masks. Actually, we kind of proved it that there were people in masks.
We more than
Joe
kind of
Biden
proved
masks.
it.
Okay? And you guys are talking to me about President Trump. He's losing it. Just shut up. You people are so full of crap. You're disingenuous. I don't know how they live with themselves, Jack. They are just evil.
I don't know, but we do have some good news. Apparently, Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito has been asked to immediately issue the court's opinion against Louisiana's race-based gerrymandering to make way for 2026 redistricting before the midterms. Rather than waiting until June or such to issue the opinion, they are going to do it ASAP, so that way they can make the Dems have to redistrict before the 2026 midterms.
Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Play the game. And if he's allowed to do it legally, do it. Do it.
Oh, yeah. The Supreme
Just because
Court
you know
asked him to do it.
Because you know they would.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
No, and the Supreme Court asked him to do it. He's definitely definitely going to get it done. I tell you, man, there's just by the way, I heard, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I heard that James Comey was actually arrested today.
Yeah.
Like a real arrest.
Yes. Now we're waiting for the mugshot. I don't know. We better get a mugshot. He was arrested. He was fingerprinted. That's what was different about this one. And people could say it's a thin indictment. It's this, it's what. I don't care. Process this guy to hell. And if he ends up getting off or not guilty, process the hell out of him. The process is the punishment, just like they did to everyone at January 6th, just like they did to President Trump over all those years, his family, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, name them. Okay, process this guy and make him suffer. Make him suffer financially. Make him suffer mentally. And I want to see mugshot. He was arrested. Everybody else gets a mugshot. President Trump got one. Rudy Giuliani got one. What's her name? Got one. The lawyer, the one who was going to release the Kraken. Her name's escaping right now. She got one. A bunch of President Trump's officials got mugshots. Where's the James Comey mugshot? I better see one. I don't care about, it's a thin indictment. It doesn't mean, I don't care. It's process. Put this guy through the process, make him miserable like he did to President Trump when he was the director of the FBI, and he enabled a completely fake, made-up story about Russia ruin President Trump's first presidency. James Comey, I hope you go bankrupt.
Yeah, I want to show this video. We're gonna switch the subject for a minute. I want to show this video of Representative Luna talking about the Butler assassination attempt, because this is very interesting right here. I want you guys to hear this and listen to what she has to say, because it's very interesting.
I think that there was a lot there, specifically what was interesting about the Butler assassination. And I've said this before. I think that was intentional negligence. I was one of the individuals that actually asked questions of the former Secret Service director. We actually had whistleblowers from within the Secret Service that came out that stated that, they were basically not present or told to stand down at the actual there was a group of snipers that were actually met that day that was coordinated by the local law enforcement, and they just so happened to not show up. The area that was left open was literally the perfect location to take a shot and basically assassinate someone. And then you have this aspect of the Biden administration that, basically gave limited staffing to a former president with Secret Service, and everything that accumulated in the way that it was within, hours of Crooks being shot and basically, neutralized. The entire scene was done. I never heard any follow-up from that FBI on what happened to the other burner phones. And also too, if this was just some random, lone shooter, why did he have burner phones? What happened to his video game console? I mean, that there's a lot outstanding. And I've actually shared this before, that to me, that has all the marks of intelligence, and I believe an inside job. That's literally what I think.
Intelligence community and an inside job. Absolutely. You don't have burner phones if you're alone. I mean, if you have all these burner phones, it's because people are calling you and coordinating with you. You got the local PD that had a sniper team that did not show up for the presidents. Even though they were coordinated and supposed to be there, they didn't show up. The one place that was unsecure just happened to be the one place that this guy was on the roof at. It's not right. You can tell that it was done. And I'm not gonna put out big accusations here, Jay, but I want to tell you what I heard. It's just what I heard. And I base this on sources that are they're reliable sources. That I heard that Governor Josh Shapiro had something to do with it.
Interesting.
I heard that he had something to do with it at the time. I heard that he wanted to get rid of Trump. I forget for what reason. I actually made a post. You know what? Let me try to find my post about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, getting on to this, we talked about the other day in the Washington Hilton that I guess in the closet, the floor was slanted, and that's why the Secret Service couldn't go in there to figure out if there was, anybody in that room. Remember the whole thing where that guy, where Thomas Crooks was on that roof? Well, it was slanted. Are you guys kidding me or what? Slanted. He didn't seem to have a problem. He climbed right up there. It was fine for Thomas Crooks. He got up there, no problem. And you left that roof unguarded. The only reason you knew anybody was up there was because people were telling the cops there's a guy climbing the roof with a gun. Nobody.
Oh, Jay.
Go ahead.
I remember now why. Take a look at this. This post went viral when I did it. Take a look at this, okay? I don't know. Let me move all this shit so we can see it closer. Take a look at this, okay? This post went viral when I did it. You see, it's got 355,000 views, 5,000 likes because it went viral. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has been accused in a whistleblower's criminal complaint of facilitating the assassination attempt on President Donald Trump on July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania. Take a look at this. This is the whistle. This is, what is this? Oh, this is the district attorney for Butler County. I am in receipt. This is a letter that he wrote To the whistleblower, I am in receipt of your private criminal complaint, which you have filed against Governor Joshua Shapiro for his alleged involvement in the attempted homicide of former President Donald J. Trump on July 13, 2024 in Butler County, Pennsylvania. Please be advised, there are multiple investigations currently being conducted by various government agencies. Due to these pending investigations, I am disapproving your private criminal complaint. That's the district attorney of Butler County, who the governor is the boss of, by the way. I am disapproving your private criminal complaint. That's what he said. That whistleblower put out a complaint, but here's some of it anyway. I'm just gonna read a little bit of it, okay? Just so bear with me here, guys. I, Hadassah Feinberg, a Fiant and federal whistleblower, hereby allege that defendant Joshua Shapiro, in his personal, individual, and official capacity, facilitated, organized, and carried out his plan to assassinate President Donald J. Trump on July 13th, 2024. Defendant Shapiro was unsuccessful in completing his mission, but is responsible for organizing and facilitating it, injuring the current president and causing the murder of Corey Comparator. Defendant Shapiro conspired and colluded with Pennsylvania officials, namely Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris, to carry out the attempted assassination. Defendant Shapiro commenced the facilitation and coordination of the attempted assassination by utilizing Pennsylvania State Trooper Commissioner Christopher Paris to conceal the crimes. Defendant Christopher Paris made false and inconsistent statements under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee on August 2024. He falsified statements to thwart and impede the criminal investigation and obscure the discovery of facts leading up to the attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. Defendants Shapiro and Paris' actions were willful and not a security failure. Willful and not a security failure. Let me say that again. Their actions were willful and not a security failure, as defendant Paris testified under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Trump was shot from the Pennsylvania State Police perimeter at Butler, Pennsylvania rally. This was not within the perimeter assigned to the United States Secret Service, and all statements relating to the Secret Service's failure are false. In his sworn testimony, defendant Paris fabricated, distorted, and willfully blamed the United States Secret Service for security failures in efforts to divert the criminal investigation and conceal the crimes. It goes on, but it is a long thing. And I just want to tell you right now that the district attorney for Butler County, he quietly pushed this away. He disapproved the private criminal complaint by this whistleblower, and he said I disapprove of it. We're not going to look into it. We've already got pending investigations. We're not going to look into Josh Shapiro for this. He's my boss. I'm not looking into him.
Well, there's no pending investigations now.
They're not going to do it. He already disapproved of it. It ain't happening. Well, and maybe... I gotta I want to show you one more thing, actually, because there was a little bit more on there.
Thomas Crooks was also training. Remember, he was training with his firearms at places where the FBI would train, I believe.
Oh yeah. Take a look at this, though. This is part of still part of my post. I want you guys to take a look at this. Listen to this. This is from Pennsylvania arrest warrants. It's one of those like groups, that people are in to see, and it posts like what happens with arrest warrants in Pennsylvania, things like that. On July 15th, 2024 through July 23rd, 2024, this affiant communicated with Secret Service agent John Donahue and provided numerous documentations related to the crimes committed by Governor Joshua Shapiro and the Philadelphia FBI's involvement in covering up the crimes of defendant Joshua Shapiro. Philadelphia FBI, the same people that were training where Thomas Crooks went, same people. But he says Agent Donahue sent the complaint to headquarters, but the Biden administration blocked it. On March 9th, 2024, Supervisory Special Agent Kenneth Keller advised the affiant through email that he contacted the FBI. I think that's the wrong date, actually. But he contacted the FBI personnel, FBI victims, and management at the Washington field office, and that they advised him to direct the affiant to Philadelphia FBI. Agent Kenneth Keller informed this affiant that the crimes being reported are not occurring in his jurisdiction and that he has no jurisdiction to assist Pennsylvania victims. He advised the affiant to contact the Department of Justice. This affiant contacted the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation. Up until recently, ex-FBI Director Christopher Wray was conspiring with the Biden administration and concealing the reports. Now that he has resigned, this private criminal complaint must be investigated.
Never was.
Nope. Just so
Go ahead.
everybody knows, Jay, that's why I wanted to pull that out. Governor Joshua Shapiro has been accused in a criminal complaint of facilitating the assassination attempt on Donald Trump.
Well, there's no investigation now, so maybe this should be reopened. That whistleblower complaint. Can somebody look at that? Is there anybody
it would
watching?
be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Anybody watching? Maybe we could forward that to Congressman Burchett, but somebody that can maybe get it. To
Well, he'll be here on May 8th, next Friday. He'll be here. Maybe we could tell him about it.
Maybe we can. Here's the thing that I was thinking when you're talking about all this, when they say, oh, there are people that say that was staged. Yeah, it was staged. You know who it was staged by? The Democrats. That assassination attempt was staged. They staged it. They're the ones who wanted it to happen. That's what I'm saying. That's my speculation.
Well, I can tell you right now, Jay, that you can't stage moving your head at the last second. Do you realize how accurate that guy would have to be able to shoot, and then how quick Trump's reflexes would have to be able to turn as this guy shot, so it would go just hit his ear and nothing else. The amount of reflexes, timing, coordination, and shot and trust. He has to trust that this guy's not going to miss and shoot him in the head.
It's impossible.
Bullshit.
It's impossible. It's impossible. So President Trump didn't stage anything, but this whole thing was staged by somebody. And it wasn't just by Thomas Crooks. That's my opinion. I don't think Thomas Crooks staged this entire thing by himself.
I can tell you right now the FBI had something to do with it. I'll tell you, I'm willing to tell you right now the FBI had something to do with it. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, they were training at the same place he was doing his shooting. Second of all, they whitewashed that crime scene immediately.
Yeah, that was strange. When they went up on that roof and they're hosing it off. Wasn't his body also cremated very quickly?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's more than strange. That is destruction of evidence is what it is.
It's unbelievable.
Tampering with a crime scene.
That's why, as I said before, I don't want to hear from Democrats about all this stuff with President. I don't want to hear it from you people. I really just don't. And everything about you is projection. I mean, we're at the point where Chuck Schumer today came out talking about an election fraud task force that the Democrats. Are you kidding me? I'm calling it, Jack, the projection task force, or the election let's learn how to make more fraud task force. That's all it is.
Election fraud.
Are you kidding me?
That's funny.
I am just so sick and tired. That's what I'm saying, everybody. I'm not saying you have to be so much like MAGA like I am or President Trump, but please understand that the other side is not tenable if you're somebody who works and pays taxes, or forget about working and pay. Jack, forget about working and paying taxes. If you have children or you care about children, you understand that these people want to mutilate children based on how they want to turn them into a boy or a girl or Martian. Do you understand that? Based on that alone, how can somebody with common sense vote for these people? They are awful.
Check this out.
Awful.
Check this out, Jay. So I just found out there's a new a breaking thing right here where it says the New Orleans Parish Sheriff.
Yeah.
Her name is Hudson. She just got indicted on 30 felony counts over the 2025 jailbreak of 10 inmates. Apparently, the indictment alleges her office failed to maintain adequate prevention and then attempted to cover up the breakout of 10 inmates out of the jail. This is the New Orleans Parish Sheriff just got indicted on 30 felony counts. So I'm telling you right now, there is nobody that would not break the law. I don't care who you are.
Well,
I've broken many laws.
Well, I have never broken a law in my life. What I will say is
there is not a single person that hasn't broken a law.
I've never broken a law in my life. Never.
You've never shoplifted.
Never.
You never accidentally left something off your taxes.
I've never broken a law in my life.
You've never speeded.
Never.
You've never sped.
Nope.
You never rolled through a stop sign. Come on.
No, never. Not once.
Let me tell you though. I mean, who
Jack,
doesn't? You know,
I
don't recognize the laws of the United States personally, so I don't care to break them.
Well, listen, you should at least not break some of them because I don't want you to be kicked off the podcast. But
no, I don't break the serious ones.
All right. At the same
time, who the hell's going to kick us off our own podcast?
Well, I want you to be able to. You're not going to be able to do it from jail, where Nick Fuentes,
I don't do anything like serious enough for that.
Yeah, but Jack, I think she might have been in charge of Jeffrey Epstein's security.
She might have been.
She might have.
Wait a minute. Where was he? Where was he killed?
That was in New York.
Was it?
Yeah.
I told you, man. New York sucks.
Yeah, that was New York. Listen, put her away for life. If she's found guilty, put her away for life. For life.
30 felony accounts for covering up a breakout by inmates. My God. Can you imagine?
That's an elected official, sheriff.
Could you imagine being the sheriff and then going to prison in your own jail? Oh, man. Man.
I mean, is she going to go to that jail? Or are there federal crimes here as well?
That I don't know. Right now, they're state crimes, but they can amount to federal crimes. But Jay, I want to go ahead and talk about our sponsor real quick, Max Associates. Like I said, they're the best place to get USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. If you guys have not visited maxassociates.etsy.com, you're really missing out. I'm telling you right now, you are missing out. You can scan the QR code at the top right, or you can visit the website, maxassociates.etsy.com. Now more than ever is when you need to show where you stand in America. Like this, I proudly support troops. God bless America. Those are just some of the things, but they have actual things that say like Jay's wife, this lady loves guns, like my flag that says, support the country you live in or live in the country you support. It shows where you stand. Like there are shirts that say, Americans over illegals, veterans over illegals. I love that stuff. You want to show people where you stand. Now more than ever, you need to show people where you stand. You need to show your pride in America. And you can do that by going to maxassociates.etsy.com because they have great deals, don't they, Jay?
The best deals. Anything over $20, 20% off. Free shipping in the United States, anywhere in the United States. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And I know because I used to run a business similar to this, and it's very hard to do to give a deal like that. It really is. So you're getting an amazing deal for amazing products.
Absolutely. And that deal is not going to last forever. So I would go as soon as possible, get everything you can. I'm telling you, it is an excellent shop, an excellent deal. All right, Jay, let's get everybody to follow us here. Make sure you guys follow Secret America TV. It's the same screen name for every single social media or podcast site we're on. X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram, also Spotify, Apple. And we're not on TikTok because they suck. Like we say every time, they banned us for telling the truth. Jay is still on there at Opinions Vary. That's Opinions Vary with an A. So check that out. And we are live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be here with you tomorrow. We're going to be here with you on Friday. And let me tell you, we have some interesting guests coming up. We are going to have, like we said before, we're going to have Tim Burchett. How does he say his last name?
Burchett.
Yep. I like Burchett better.
Tell him that when he comes on.
Yeah. But okay, so Burchett. Okay, we're gonna have Representative Congressman Tim Burchett on next Friday. We got Roger Stone coming on May 18th, Monday, May 18th. Coming up soon though, either this week or next week. We haven't nailed it down yet, but we will. We're gonna have the FBI, the former FBI agent, and the man that actually ran the scheme. The FBI agent caught this man. His name's Stephen Myers. You can check it out. Go to Netflix, How to Rob a Bank. Look for Stephen Myers and the FBI agent. He robbed banks in Seattle, and the FBI agent is the one who caught him. They are both going to come on our show together. Imagine that. The FBI agent, and then the guy who robbed all those banks for millions of dollars coming on the show together.
That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. I got to watch that. I need to watch that. I want to see that. But obviously, before they come on, I will watch it. It just sounds so interesting. I want to watch it anyway, whether they come on or not.
It is. I mean, the show itself is interesting. Let me pull up. I want to pull up real quick so I can make sure you guys know which episode it is. It doesn't really. Damn, I know. I wish I could see. But anyways, it's How to Rob a Bank, and it says Seattle's Hollywood Bank Heists. That's the one it is. How to Rob a Bank on Netflix. It's the How to Rob a Bank show on Netflix, and it is Seattle's Hollywood Bank Heists.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Can't wait to get them on. I want to hear that story.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, imagine having the person who committed the bank robberies, orchestrated, planned it, and then the person who caught him on the same show. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So make sure you guys watch us every night, every weeknight, 7 p.m. Eastern. For Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.